Mark, I just wanted to quickly go over the custom post types and the advanced custom fields plugin. As you noticed, I'm already using those, and whether you decide to use them or not is up to you, but they've certainly been easier. So here's advanced custom fields and custom post type UI. They're certainly easier when setting up custom post types quickly. So down here is what shows up once you install the plugin. And managing post types essentially are all the post types that you see here that have already been created. And I think some of them I'll be able to delete. So if you could confirm that, like, do I really need to have a galleries, histories, points of interest, a custom post type, or even featured places, but I'll get to that. The front page I'll leave because it just controls the content from the home page. Places, as we discussed already, is where all the places are created. Histories, again, is right here. I'm thinking I could get rid of that one. Galleries as well, points of interests, featured places I'll get to. Social icons are just the social icon links that are on the footer of the site. So that's the only purpose they serve. So, and neighborhoods are here. So basically once you create them and you can go to edit, you get a list like this, and it's very similar to how you would define them in an array if you were to define them in an array if you were to actually set them manually through the functions PHP file, which is where I believe you would set them up. So here obviously you just put the custom post type name. I keep it singular. Here's the label, so it's consistent, and here's a singular label, and then a description. There are advanced options that you're also used to seeing on the on the code end, whether it's public, the Boolean values, menu position, and whether it supports all these other things, built-in taxonomy. So you have all the options here basically in a GUI. So here next to it, you can at the same time create a taxonomy relevant to the post type. So, and this also has advanced options to whether it be hierarchical, whether it will show the UI, whether it will be a query variable, a rewrite, or a custom rewrite slug. So these I generally just keep kind of at their default values. And here you can even write what they're relevant to, the taxonomies, and when they would show up. Those are the advanced, and then advanced label options are just the same things that they would, that WordPress already does automatically. So I just wanted to go over that really quick. The next thing is the custom fields. So obviously once you create the custom post type, you would go to custom fields, and here are all the custom fields I've created. So in the case pertinent to us, it's neighborhood and places. So in the neighborhood section, these are all, you would first create the field group, and you would just write the name neighborhood. Now that's what would show up. Now that's just giving all these fields a relevant group name. So they're related to the neighborhood. So that's the title you put there. The next thing, it just depends on the custom content that you require. So if right here, sorry about the noise in the background. If right here you have neighborhoods, and you go to the neighborhood, you have the title, and if you go into the neighborhood, you have the latest news, local events, listings. Well, I listed it that same way. So neighborhood name would be first, the background color, which is this blue right here, or whatever the color may be, the background image, which is going to be this wide image here, the latest news, local events, listings, history, points of interest, gallery. So that would be all the relevant content for these remaining links. And you get to specify what kind of field type they are. So I'm just going to add a new one for the sake of example, just to kind of go over quick. And you could call the field type, test field, and this would be the name that you call the field from, because this has its own function instead of get field. Or get area. I forget. I don't know all the WordPress template tags, but they have one just called the field, and you would call this name when referencing it, as you might have seen in some of the code. And then you can have a bunch of field types to choose from, which I'm sure you're probably aware of on the back end. On the code side, you have text area, number area, email, password, a WYSIWYG editor, if it's going to be an image upload, if it's going to be a checkbox or a radio button, or a page link, or a post object, or a relationship, or taxonomy, date picker, color picker, etc., etc. So you would select what kind of field type it would be. I'll just say text area, and then you get other options as a result. Usually here it's very easy. You just write the field instructions, whether it's required or not. You don't need to put a default value. You can, and then certainly make sure that there's no formatting. That's important. And then you could just say close field, and then when you update it, it'll add it. So this field is going to stay here now, just because for the simple fact that I added a field. If you just add field again, you'll just keep adding more fields. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And here the location is important because you're basically saying this post type is equal to, in my case, I put neighborhood. So whenever you go to the custom post type neighborhoods now, you'll see that within each neighborhood, we have all those custom fields that we just created. The name, the background color, the background image, the latest news, the local events, the listings, the history, the points of interest, and the gallery. So that's all there. So in other words, it's calling from all the custom fields just because I've associated them just from this drop-down menu. What's cool is you can also add other rules, say and maybe posts of a certain template. So that's kind of neat too. Here, normal position is fine, standard meta box is good, and these you can usually hide them because you're basically just trying to highlight the new custom fields that you're adding. So I just wanted to go over that quickly, and as well as in places, it has its own set of custom fields. In this case, place name, background image, because it still follows the same convention that once you're on place, well, this is not working yet, but once it's on a place, then that place will have its own background image. It will have its own area that has the about this place. I don't know if you remember, or that it was included for that matter, because yeah, I don't think I even have it. I should send you actually the HTML file if that's cool. But here, for example, neighborhood place template. So this was Oxford House, and if you could make it carry the same color as the neighborhood, that would be great. If not, we could just stick with this standard blue. And it pulls the neighborhood. It now highlights the name. And as you can see, it has an image here, but here it just has WYSIWYG content. The header and that stuff has already been created, so I think I should send you actually the HTML file so you can just grab these snippets of code that's already, of markup that's already there, and just focus on having the field areas. In this case, I would just say just 2 text areas. The form, I don't know. I still have to kind of figure that out. I guess I might use like a plugin or something. So, but at least I know that once you've created the custom, the right pages to call. In other words, when you're on this page, you're calling it from the content within the custom field groups, or the custom post types rather. Then I believe I'll be able to create a form and just call it from wherever and then include it right there. So I'm not too concerned with that. I could even use a get template part and then maybe call on the form that way, because the form's all going to lead to the same address. So I don't need to worry about every neighborhood having its own form field. So that's not a big deal. And then let me see here. One final note as well. I don't know if there is any possibility to if from that custom post type, these images, I'll see how I can call them. I know I could pretty much put the markup and then call each image, I think. So I have to look at that, because it's just going to be an image with a link to a field, but I don't know, they kind of wanted a jQuery slider, but I think I can figure that out. I'm more interested in the hierarchy and the content going to its relevant places. That to me is so key. These sub-navigations that you said you'd be able to kind of to work out, so that's awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to go over those 2 plugins to see if they'd be helpful to you. Then of course, once you go to the custom fields, if you have to reference what field to call, for example, neighborhood, you would just see right here, neighborhood name, it would be neighborhood_name. And when you go into, I guess maybe some of these that I've created, for example, here, that's not a good one. Here, for example, on the array here, on the query, the argument is the post type neighborhood. So I'm calling obviously the post types from neighborhood right here. So then the if have post, and the query have post, the query post, just a regular loop statement. Down here, for example, you'll see PHP the field, and I'm calling neighborhood name for the permalink in this case, and that's what creates the names that populate this list. So just wanted to throw that out there. The advanced custom forms, if you're ever interested in it, is advancedcustomfields.com. It's a cool plugin, and they have all kinds of stuff. Maybe you could look into some of these tools that maybe might even speed up your production. So I don't know, but that's all I really wanted to just kind of go over, and hopefully we can kind of just get this wrapped up. So, but it's been really cool that you've been able to figure this out. I'm really grateful, really grateful. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.